Welcome to Not My Reality. Let me ask you, what do NASA, Jet Propulsion Laboratories, L. Ron Hubbard, Aleister Crowley, portals to hell, and a satanic sex cult all have in common? Well, this is the bizarre story of Jack Parsons. Under fair use as it's a parody. If you don't have a sense of humor, go. Welcome. Is this my reality? Is this your reality? The sex cult Rocket Man. Some people think these things don't exist. Just like this reality is a bad movie, we seem to have a mad scientist who really existed. Who was that man? It was Jack Parsons. Parsons was one of the Suicide Squad. This was a trio of young Rocket Boy founders of Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And this guy, Parsons, had a really strange life. He was born in 1914 and he died in 1952 while working on an explosive special effects for a movie in his home laboratory. The explosion, it's been called an accident, suicide, or an assassination, depending on the source. An obituary in the Pasadena Independent described Parsons as a, get this, a down-to-earth explosive expert who dabbled in necromancy. More recently, the New York Post, they went with the sex-crazed cultist was the father of modern rocketry. At the age of 23, Parsons, he became a minor celebrity as an expert witness at a murder trial. A captain of LAPD's intelligence unit was convicted largely on the basis of Parsons' testimony about a car bomb that killed the police whistleblower. Parsons was also one of the founders of Aerojet Engineering, now Aerojet Rocketdyne, and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Ironically, the same initials, JPL, which continues to play an important role in American space exploration. Yet, get this, Parsons, he only had a high school education. Following some brief involvement with Marxism in 1939, Parsons then converted to Thelema. This was a new religious movement founded by an English occultist, Aleister Crowley, who was known as the most wicked man on earth. This guy was a friggin' creep, let me tell you. Together with his first wife, Helen Northrop, listen to that last name, Parsons joins the Agape Lodge, the California branch of the Thelema-based Ordo Templi Orientis in 1941. At Crowley's bidding, Parsons replaced Wilford Talbot Smith as its leader in 1942 and ran the lodge from his mansion on Orange Grove Boulevard. Parsons partnered for what he called the Babylon Working. These were a series of rituals intended to invoke the Thelematic goddess Babylon on Earth. His housemate, get this, his housemate was science fiction writer and fellow occultist. His name, L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah, dead L. Ron Hubbard, who was still several years away from founding the Church of Scientology. The church says that Hubbard was acting undercover to subvert Parsons' black magic and rescue a girl, Sarah Betty Northrop, from Parsons' clutches. Northrop, Parsons' sister-in-law and lover, became Hubbard's second wife, and also Hubbard and Sarah defrauded, get this, they defrauded Parsons on his life savings. You cannot make this shit up. What is wrong with these people? Parsons at this point was master of the Agape Lodge of the Ordo Templi Orientis, the Los Angeles headquarters of the English occultist Aleister Crowley's religion of Thelema. At least until Crowley lost faith in Parsons. Yeah, after he stole his life savings and took his girl, you had him removed as a master. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell. If you don't, I might just send Tom Cruise and a bunch of Scientologists to your house. Hard to believe, but with his occult fascinations, his drug use, and his relationships with those who had communist connections in the 30s, Parsons' FBI file marked him as one red-hot potato. I'd like to see that, though. Did they really put one red-hot potato? There was no chance he'd get back in the space race. His fellow Suicide Squad member Frank Molina was in fact red-baited right out of the country. Meanwhile, former Nazi Party member Werner von Braun became one of the leaders. The effort to put Americans on the moon. His connections to slave labor and mass murder, well, that was swept all under the rocket's red glare. This is where it gets really weird. Remember we talked about how Jack Parsons only had a high school education and he liked doing a lot of drugs and was really into the cult and friends with Aleister Crowley. Well, get this. This is what they're saying. Jack Parsons invented the first rocket engine by opening up a demonic portal through a blood sacrifice, and this is how we can now travel across the world. Strap yourselves in. So demons, or we'll call them entities, they downloaded to him the information and the knowledge needed to create these rockets. These fallen angels were with the Father in creation. They know so much, and this is how humans evolved so much after the flood, because they had the Nephilim, the giants. They gave information to humans. They gave knowledge about the stars, about the Mayan calendar, the engineering for the Egyptian pyramids, etc. Jack Parsons was an occultic, chemist, and rocket engineer all at the same time. That brings us to the Devil Gates Dam. Have you ever heard of this? It's said to be a portal to hell. It wasn't until the late 1940s that the paranormal activity began to pick up around the Devil's Gate Dam. A group of occultists became interested in the area and attempted rituals intended to open a portal to hell. The group included rocket scientist Jack Parsons, who was a follower of Aleister Crowley's Thelema, and, here he is again, L. Ron Hubbard. Their goal was to bring forth a moonchild, which they hoped would be an antichrist. Of course, who doesn't want an antichrist? Everybody wants one of those. Who would lead a Thelematic revolution, whatever that is. The rituals that Parsons and his followers performed in the area are said to have opened a portal to hell. Since then, the area has become a magnet for all kinds of dark activity. Many believe the missing children and other unexplained events that have taken place in or around the area are a result of the portal being opened. In the 1950s, several children were missing in the area around Devil's Gates Dam. Though none of them were ever found, a serial killer took credit for 2 of the disappearances, 13 years after they went missing. That's the man, Mac Ray Edwards. Why do you always got 3 names? You should know. If your name has... Check yourself out. You might be a serial killer. He was a construction worker at the time, and their bodies were hidden somewhere in the concrete of California's freeways. I don't like people. 2 other children seem to have vanished into thin air. One after turning a corner in front of his parents, and the other while returning to a YMCA campsite. In both instances, the children only left supervision for a matter of seconds and somehow disappeared. Someone called David Pilatus. It's not just missing children, like that's not enough, that have added to the paranormal aspect of Devil's Gate Dam. People have reported strange noises, feelings of being watched, and even seeing ghostly apparitions. Some have claimed to see the ghost of Jack Parsons himself, while others have seen strange figures lurking in the area. One of the most famous paranormal incidents at Devil's Gate Dam occurred in the 1980s when a group of teenagers went to explore the area. They claimed to have seen a strange creature, a cryptid, that they described as a cross between a wolf and a human. The creature reportedly chased them through the woods, and they barely escaped with their lives. The incident was never explained, and many believe that it was yet another example of the dark energy that surrounds the area. What do you all think? Did Jack Parsons, did he actually open a portal to hell? An interdimensional portal maybe? I mean, how did a man with just a high school diploma go on to be the father of modern rocketry? Was it just luck? Or did he have help from these entities, did people say? Well, we're going to do a video on his mysterious death. But for now, do you think Parsons had help from these entities? Was he able to actually really open a portal to one of these dimensions we don't understand? One that we might call hell? What say you? Leave a comment down below. Let's get the fuck out of here.